For some of my meal prep this week, I'm going to be making my salads in a jar. And so you always start with your salad dressing in the bottom of your mason jar. And this is one of my favorite kind. It is that Olive Garden light Italian dressing. And 2 tablespoons is just 1 Weight Watchers point on green. So I'm definitely starting with that. On my bottom, I also put the next ingredients that are the wettest. And for me, that will be tomatoes. So I like Roma tomatoes, especially I live in Missouri. And this time of year, we don't have fresh, ripe tomatoes from the garden because it's not time for that in Missouri yet. So I'm stuck with some Roma tomatoes from the grocery store. But I'm just going to dice up about 3 of them. And I'm making 4 salads in a jar for this week. So I'm going to dice these up and then I'm going to place them in there next. After I put those in my mason jars, I'm actually going to add some salt and pepper. When you put salt on tomatoes, it actually draws out some of the moisture, and that moisture is going to mix in with my salad dressing. So it's even going to make it so that I actually seems like I have more salad dressing when I actually take these out and have them at work this week. After I put my tomatoes in there, then I'm going to start putting my last kind of wet ingredient. It's not so much wet today because it's just those mini English cucumbers, and I'm going to slice those up. But you know how cucumbers are, especially when they're around moisture. So they'll kind of absorb that dressing and that tomato juice as we go throughout this week, and they'll even soften up a little bit more. And actually they taste great that way. So that's the next ingredient I like to put in. And then I start putting in things that will actually stop the lettuce from getting wet. And that's my protein. So today I'm going to use kidney beans, red kidney beans, and I'm putting 1/3 of a cup of red kidney beans into my salads this week. Sometimes I like garbanzo beans, sometimes I like chicken breast, but some kind of protein for my lunch. Then I'm simply going to add some carrots and some celery here. You can see I'm working on chopping those up, and I'll put some of that in each one of those jars in just a second here. I really like the salads in a jar for lunch because they have a lot of great vegetables in them, and with that protein source, it really helps me feel satisfied throughout the day. These are going to be super low in points on the Weight Watchers Green Plan. A 1/3 cup of kidney beans, that's just 2 Weight Watchers Green points. And then that salad dressing for 2 tablespoons is just 1 point. So these salads in a jar are only going to ring in at 3 Weight Watchers points each. That's it. That is a bargain for lunch, especially with so much protein and fiber and vegetables. So I'm simply stuffing in as much lettuce as I can get, and then I'm going to put my lids on there. You just keep them upright in the refrigerator all week like this, and they will stay very, very fresh. On the day I have them, I simply shake them up. Another item for my meal prep this week is going to involve using this Fage 0% Greek yogurt, and I'm going to take a cup of it for 1 serving, which on the Weight Watcher Green Plan it is 1 point for 1/2 a cup. And I'm going to actually add, this is one of my favorite Mios. It's an orange vanilla, and so when you add it as well as some of this stevia clear sweet drops, both of these are sugar-free, it will make a wonderful little dessert treat for 1 point. So I'm going to mix all of this up and then put it in some containers for the week. my weekly meal prep for my bacon. I am going to preheat my oven at 350 degrees and then prepare my bacon for going in the oven. I have my baking sheet prepared with my aluminum foil for easy cleanup, and I'm simply going to take my bacon and lay it out on this sheet. All ready to go in my 350 degree oven. I'll pop it in, check it at 30 minutes, and make sure it's done the way I want, or I will flip it at 30 minutes and cook it a little bit longer. Just depends on the brand of bacon that you use and how thick it is and how crispy or not crispy that you like your bacon. Okay, my bacon's totally finished, and I'm going to leave it like this because it'll go in, after I drain it, it'll go in a plastic bag and we'll put it in the fridge. And then when we use it in the morning, we'll just heat it up in the microwave for a few seconds, so it's actually perfectly done like we like it. So that's it. Now that my meal prepping is done for the week, I just wanted to take you into my fridge for just a little bit to show you what I have ready to go. So there I have my 4 salads in a jar and a couple containers of that yogurt flavored up. And those are actually all for me for this week at school lunch. James will eat leftovers. I don't typically like to eat heavy meals during the school day. So those are some leftovers of the chicken enchilada casserole from last week. So those are ready to go for him. There's the sunshine cake that I made. So I'll be cutting that up this evening. And then you can see I've got I still have plenty of vegetables left for this week, and then my spinach ready to go for my next meal that I make. And then there's all that bacon already ready to go for the week with our Velveeta cheese slices. And then of course I have my Laughing Cow, which is a staple for me as well. And so we are ready to go for another week of work.